What's up, everyone? I'm Shafi Malik, and you're listening to the Who Dropped the Popcorn podcast. The premise is simple. One of us picks a film that we know the others haven't seen. We all watch it, and we come here to discuss it. Joining us tonight is Dave McHugh.
Welcome to Flavor Town.
Andy Newlands.
What about a knife?
Kyle Hammond.
Oh, I tried to start a revolution, but I didn't print enough pamphlets.
That's good, mate. That's good. That's pronunciation of pamphlets. Spot on.
What was that all about?
That's Korg, mate. It's Korg.
All right, very good. Right.
Mate, that's classic. Little Ragnarok.
And tonight we have a very special guest, all the way from Melbourne, Australia, the host of the brilliant Schlock Awe Podcast, the wonderful, the amazing Lindsay Wilkins.
Yeah.
Hey. Deviant, long and proud.
Very good. Lindsay, how are you today?
I am really well. Thanks so much for having me on to talk about this batshit crazy movie.
You got that right.
So Lindsay was very kind to invite me to her brilliant podcast, which is called Schlock Awe. Do you want to tell the viewers what your podcast is all about?
Yeah, it's a double feature podcast. I like to pretend that I actually get to screen movies in a theatre, though this will probably never happen. And I kind of like to choose. So it's just a double feature podcast. Shafi has been on twice. I don't know when this is coming out, but his latest episode was on Attack the Block and The People Under the Stairs. So that kind of gives you the idea of what kind of doubles we do. Kind of, I love to mix genres and kind of different kind of movies that maybe shouldn't be put together, but when you watch them, you tend to have a good time kind of thing. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Eclectic fusion.
Exactly,
It really,
yes.
and we really recommend you listen to it because it is a brilliant podcast. It's almost like as if it's like it's a celebration of the films that you've chosen. Like you guys sort of talk about what you love about the film, and you know the people that you have on the show. They're so passionate and so articulate about the films. It just really.
Until Shafi came
fan,
on. Way.
Yeah, I know.
You just slag us off within the first 2 minutes of talking about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. By the way, Andy got really pissed off that I was slagging.
I believe
everyone
that.
off.
You had like a global
When I
audience. You just called your mates a bunch of knobheads.
And you forgot the name of our podcast as well. And I'm also on this other podcast called Prawn something. Outrageous.
Yes, he doesn't like to talk about his own podcast. He just goes, "Oh, don't worry about that. It's fine.
Oh,
We don't need
I
to
don't
talk
blame
about
him,
those
honestly.
guys."
But it's so good. Like it was a couple of weeks ago, you had the Cinema Drunkie on, and you were talking about two of my favorite films, which is Blow Up and The Conversation. And man, have you, Dave? Have you seen The Conversation?
Yeah. Honestly, I think you are the biggest fan of The Conversation, and I could understand if somebody found it a bit slow. But honestly, Gene Hackman, he knows how to roll that film. It is incredible. But I get it. If somebody didn't like it, I could understand it. I don't think Carl or Andy would like The Conversation. Do you know what I mean?
We're too dumb, Andy.
Every week I have to sit here and listen to, Andy wouldn't like this because it's highbrow. Andy wouldn't like this because it doesn't have Matt Damon in it. Andy wouldn't like this because it doesn't have cars in. I've got feelings.
Sorry, Lindsay. I'm sure you've been on podcasts before where no one actually bickers like this before, but this is.
I love it. I wish I had popcorn at the moment. Actually,
That's very good.
Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, I think, you know what, that's a film that I feel like, so I watched that in my early 20s, and it was one of those films where I was so annoyed that I hadn't watched it earlier, like earlier in my life, like around about 16 years old. I think that would have been perfect for me to watch it because I just moved. Yeah, because I just moved to London. Like I was sort of trying to fit in a new school. I was very lonely. I was listening to a lot of jazz during that time.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that would have been perfect for me. But
All the right things to fit into a new school in London, watching The Conversation, listening to jazz.
Yeah.
I didn't get beaten up once. I didn't even get beaten up. I really like jazz music. Bang. Smash straight in the face. And Blow Up. Was it Blow Out? Blow Out.
Oh, was it Blow Out? Sorry. So I keep getting mixed up with Blow Out.
To be fair, very similar titles, and we did talk about Blow Up. But no, yeah, it was Blow Out.
Sorry, I get the titles mixed up. Sorry.
There's too many movies with blow and something at the end of it, so that's okay.
Wowza.
Hundreds.
Oh, we might have
Don't look at Dave's phone.
Crikey. You're officially the fifth member now. Well done.
Don't Google that, please. Please, viewers. Yeah, don't Google that. But yeah, it is a brilliant podcast. There have been some amazing episodes. You did an Evil Dead retrospective as well, which was really great to hear. One of my favourite episodes that you've done was you did a double of In a Lonely Place and Bound.
Oh, yes, we did with Rosalie. Yes.
Yeah. Because you're a big fan of Bound, is that right, Lindsay?
A huge fan of Bound, yeah. Most people go for the Matrix with the Wachowskis. I'm like, no, give me more.
I've still never seen that.
Has to be lesbians. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, it's
it really is cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Ralphie from The Sopranos. It's so.
Got
really,
Joey
really
Pants,
good
Joey Pants and Jennifer Tilly, and it's absolutely amazing.
So, does anyone want to hear my Bound story?
No,
what is
I don't want it.
Go on.
Basically, I first watched Bound when I was around about 15 years old, right? So I rented out Bound. I had to return, because I watched it the night before, I had to return the video after school. So I actually had that video in my school bag. The front cover is Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly, and they're sort of holding each other, sort of like a suggestive embrace, and they're you're looking quite kind of sultry at the camera. And so the thing is that Dave saw that, he grabbed it, he put it down his pants, and he ran around the school going, I didn't chase after him. I just sort of sat. I just stayed sitting down, right? And then, like about 10 minutes later, the teacher came up to me and sort of gave me the videotape, and he went, "Listen, you can't bring films like that into the school." I'm like, it's not a porn film. It's like it's a crime noir. It's like. It's a Wachowski debut.
They're going to make The Matrix soon.
Exactly.
Oh, I love the idea of Shafi trying to give his teacher a film lesson. I'm like going, no,
it's not porn.
Film. No, it's not porn. Joey Pants is in this.
What teacher was it, Shafi? I'll delete this out, but what teacher was it?
It was Dave's dad.
Oh my God. Well, I'll keep that in there, and I'll keep that in.
It was so fun. That was so funny.
It was one of the most embarrassing things, but hey.
Oh. I want to know about the conversation Dave's dad had to have with Dave about running around with boundaries.
How come Dave, why didn't you explain that part? Your dad finding
pornos in my pants. I didn't rent it out. It wasn't my idea.
It's not a porn film.
It is a porn. It is a porno.
But anyway, so but that's my experience with Bound. That's my Bound story. So anyway, Lindsay, something I haven't told you is that as a dedication to your podcast, I've basically given a challenge to the rest of the group. So
yes!
what I've told them is that I've asked them to imagine that they have a cinema for one night and they're allowed to choose 2 films. And so they need to choose 2 films and a trailer in between and also one snack at the snack bar as well.
The most important.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start with you, Kyle. What are your choice of 2 films regarding?
Oh my God!
So you've hired a cinema out.
Yep.
You're curating the films for the night. What are the 2 films you're going to choose?
Well, the first film I've chosen because I loved it, and I keep saying that I loved it, and I want you guys to watch it, and that's Another Round, Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes, Lindsay, that's one of your favourite films, right?
I love that movie so much.
Oh, it's so good. It's amazing.
It's so good. That ending is just chef's kiss perfection, and it's I love that movie so much. It's yeah.
What a night.
Have you seen it, Shafi?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
That scene is just, it's out there though, isn't it?
It comes out, it feels like it comes out of nowhere, but it's such a perfect joy of a moment seeing him just dance around. It's perfect.
Kyle, what do you prefer? Another Round or Riders to Justice?
Oh, I'm sure I said on the pod that when I watched Riders of Justice first, then I watched Another Round, and I was like, right, Another Round's better. But then I rewatched Riders of Justice, and I think just Riders of Justice. Only close though, really close.
Okay, and sorry, what film are you following that with?
Leaving Las Vegas.
Wow.
Nice. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. That is a good idea.
Well,
but then
I don't want to give too much away for the plot, but Lindsay will know that one of the characters in the film kind of could end up with Leaving Las Vegas, kind of.
I know, but that's the thing. Aren't you finishing it on quite a low note, though?
It's a great film, though.
When you start with Leaving Las Vegas and end with Another Round.
I did have that originally, but I just thought because of that character, what happens to them, that'd make more sense for that. You could imagine that character becoming Nicolas Cage in Leaving Las Vegas.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Great. And so what trailer have you picked to in between both films?
I've chosen the 20 whatever remake of A Star Is Born.
Oh,
nice.
Perfect. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Right. Great.
And the snack is beer. Funny enough.
Fucking hell.
It's not you're supposed to eat. Not. That's rubbish.
A Star Is Born with
you've not seen it, Dave?
Cooper.
No.
Oh, mate.
Is it good?
I liked it, yeah. I really liked it.
Okay.
There's one scene that you'll proper laugh at, like hilariously laugh at. You're not supposed to laugh at it, but I just find it hilarious.
Yeah, you're not supposed to laugh at it,
I know,
mate.
but I just find it's hilarious.
It's meant to be the most embarrassing moment ever for someone, and
that sounds funny. That does.
And also, they don't show that part in the trailer, so unfortunately, you're not gonna. But anyway, okay. Thanks for that, Kyle. Okay, what about you, Dave? What are your two choices of film?
Okay, so Point Break. Nope, not Point Break. I said the wrong film. Point Blank.
You had one job. Like, what are your two films? Hang on.
Point Blank, and then followed by Dirty Harry.
Nice.
Gross.
Yeah.
Good
those
choices,
two back
man. Great. Okay.
With the Get Carter trailer in between.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's perfect. Good. Yeah.
Does that mean you're going to add an additional dress code that everyone has to wear a suit when going into the cinema?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Everyone's in a suit all day.
Okay, cool. And what's your choice of snack?
The snack is hot dogs in homage to Dirty Harry and his hot dog at the opening scene of Dirty Harry. So hot dogs all the way.
Very good.
And
great.
You have to have a pint of mild when you visit Newcastle.
I have no idea what that is.
I look forward to that. Right, fair play.
Okay. Thanks for that, Dave. And what about you, Andy? What are your choice of two films?
All right, I would like to start this day with Twister, one of the greatest films of all time.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Twister.
And we've got a storm in the UK, isn't it?
Is that what made you think about it? You just looked out the window and thought, Twister.
No, Twister's great.
By the way, Lindsay, there's a storm that's going through the UK.
Yes.
I need to see Twister on the big screen. It's brilliant. It's great for anyone, families and all the rest of it. So that's the first one. And I'd follow it up with Jaws.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that'd be such a good day. Carnage on land, carnage on sea.
Wait, is your trailer Sharknado?
No. So my trailer would be Event Horizon.
Oh, okay. Carnage in Space, yes.
Yeah, Carnage in Space. So they're linked. And that's also the greatest space movie of all time. My snack would be Galaxy Minstrels.
Nice.
Very good. That's nice. Lovely.
Thanks.
Chaotic.
Thanks very much.
Chaotic snack. That's great. That's a good choice there. Nice.
Thanks.
So what do you think of those three nights at the cinema, Lindsay?
Which one would you book if you could only book one?
Don't make her choose. That's not nice.
Yeah,
that's not fair. That's not fair.
No, because each of them have some of my favorite movies. actually seeing. I remember seeing.
You're going to the cinema on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Choose the night that you do it, Sean.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's be one every night. No, because I remember seeing Twister when it came out, and the cow being twisted in the Twister was
talking about Twister. Boom, I've won.
Doesn't mean she chose your. She didn't
choose the other one.
She chose yours. It doesn't mean.
Yes, she did, definitely. She spoke about the cow. Brilliant.
Okay, right.
Thanks.
You're welcome, Andy.
Sorry, Lindsay. So what do you think of those three choices?
No, I really love them. I think each they're all really, really great, and kind of give a different kind of mood to each kind of each pairing. So within the pairing. So no, I absolutely love all of those.
Especially
honestly, you don't have to be so nice. If one was rubbish, just say it was rubbish. If one was rubbish, one was rubbish.
Oh shit.
Twister.
I hate Dirty Harry. I don't like hot dogs.
We're a Twister and Apollo 13 because I wanted to have Bill Paxton in.
Well, I was really hoping Andy would say Men in Black 1 and 2.
I felt about it.
By the way, Lindsay, if you ever need a fan of the Men in Black films on your podcast, Andy is your person because he's the biggest fan of the Men in Black films. He's the expert. That's his mastermind subject.
But you've got the thing is, once you've watched the third one and then that thing's happened, you're like, this is the greatest trilogy of all time.
Okay, yeah.
You have to go back and watch it because you're like, holy shit, he knew all along. Couldn't believe
Move over Indiana Jones.
I might watch it again tonight, actually.
Actually, Shafi, I know you're the compere, but did you come up with your own two?
I've already been on the podcast, so I've already done my choices. Okay? Yeah, that's what I do. Lindsay, basically, she invited me to the podcast, and then she was like,
"Regret it."
Oh, she was like, "Oh yeah, exactly," because but Lindsay, what she did, she invited me to the podcast, and then I said. She's like, okay, just choose a film, think about it, take a day to think about it, and like literally 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, what about this film? What about that film? What about? So I gave her loads of pairings of films, and she was probably looking at her like ongoing messages, going, oh my god, why am I
this is how I knew me and Shafi were going to get on, because I do the exact same thing. Because he's like, I'll take your time to think about it. It's no pressure. All of a sudden, I get like a list of 10 movies. I'm like going, oh, someone else does that. Good. And not the only one that gets too excited and bombards someone.
So basically, I've got about 10 pairings in the pipeline, but Lindsay needs other people on her podcast rather than my sort of boring droning.
This is how we know the podcast is going to go on for a long time, because I've got like 10 movies Shafi wants to do.
Yeah. I'll be co-host by the end of the year. Yeah.
Well, I think Andy should be invited on first. Twister and Jaws, that's mental.
Goddamn right.
That'd be great.
Twister and Jaws. This funny guy from Jersey. Where's Jersey? Don't worry about that.
Exactly.
Don't worry about that.
Okay, so anyway, let's talk about Turkey Shoot. Here's your warning, we'll be going into heavy spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film, we thoroughly recommend you watch it before listening to this. Lindsay has chosen 1982's Turkey Shoot, written by Neil D. Hicks and John George and directed by Brian Trenchard Smith. The film is set in a dystopian future where social deviants...
What?
Dystopian, sorry. Maybe I should actually spell it. Maybe I should spell it in the way that I'd say it rather than a dystopian. All right, sorry. Okay. All right, let's do an edit there.
Wow.
Right, okay. Right,
that's staying well.
Right. The film is set in a dystopian future where social deviants are imprisoned in a concentration camp, are hunted down by aristocratic predators deep in the jungle. It's up to Chris Waters and Paul Anders to fight for their freedom and escape the most dangerous game. So normally what I do is I ask their choice of film why they chose the film, but I'll tell the truth. I sort of put Lindsay in a bit of a corner because I asked Lindsay to choose a film and she gave like a list of great films, and each film one after another. I was like, that sounds great. Oh, but there's no access for it here in the UK. Oh, that sounds great, but there's no access. So unfortunately, we whittled it down to Turkey Shoot. So instead, of asking Lindsay why she chose the film, I guess, what's your history with this film? What are your thoughts of this film?
I first saw this after watching, because for a while Australians couldn't get Turkey Shoot or any of these movies because they weren't made for Australian specifically. They were actually made for drive-ins and exploitation theaters in the States, which is why you have Steve Railsback showing up in it and Turkey Shoot. But I watched this documentary called Not Quite Hollywood, which is a documentary on Ozploitation.
I've heard about that. Yeah,
which is which is, if you want to know why Australians are the way they are, watch this documentary. And it sort of goes through a whole list of all these kind of bat crazy movies that Australians made, and you're just watching it going, how are people not dying making these movies? And one of them they talk about is Turkey Shoot. Kind of toward the end of the phase when everything was just going off the rails, and there's a whole bunch of stories and everyone was kind of miserable making it. And that was the one movie I could get my hands on at the time. And I watched it and then went, this is actually fucking bonkers. And then hadn't seen it for a while, and then we're going through a list of movies. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember liking Turkey Shoot. I remember that being fun. And then rewatched it and went, shit, this is mean-spirited, but in the best kind of possible nasty kind of exploitation kind of way. So that's kind of I didn't really grow up with a lot of exploitation movies. I was kind of a weird kid that didn't like violence for some weird reason. Now I've gone completely the 180, and now I'm just like, please, let's burn someone to death in a movie. I'm just if someone isn't burned to death in a movie, I'm disappointed. And so that is my sort of history with it, and it's just a really fun bonkers movies where the rules keep changing, and then when you kind of realize that this was made in Australia in like the early 80s, you're like, because no one had a plan for anything. They were just like, let's just do this. Roseback, climb that cliff.
Nice, great. Okay. So Andy, if you're still in here,
yep.
Would you care to recap this film?
Hey, what's that you say? It's Andy's articulate analysis.
Oh gosh, I'm not going to do this justice, but basically, I think this film is about like some
posh people.
What did you call it? A dystopian state, like a totalitarian state.
That's the name of the chocolate bar, I think.
I think so. There's a tasty one at that. And like, there's these, what are they called? Social deviants. And these social deviants are like rounded up by the state, and they go to mass prison camps for like re-education and like behavioural modification. And so basically, when they get to this camp, basically. Wow, sorry about that.
Bring the R into it,
yes.
Kyle. So early in the podcast.
Wow, I was trying to make this a bit light and funny, but that's fine.
Exactly, yeah.
Kyle.
Keeping it real, mate. Keeping it real.
Yeah,
hello, darkness, my old friend.
Basically, you think you're not really sure what's going on. It's like, right, this is a camp. And then very, very quickly, like, the film moves on. Just fucking crazy shit's happening, like the guards are just like, Wario from fucking Nintendo turns up, and he's like chaining bloody like cages full of petrol and stuff, and like setting prisoners on fire, and then like before you know it, you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And then it's basically like The Running Man. It's insane. It's like these like rich motherfuckers turn up, and they basically let some of the prisoners out, and then there's just this crazy, like, this just fucking nuts. There's like this fucking werewolf turns up out of nowhere, and I don't think this is even explained at any point. I still don't understand what the fuck is going on. But there's this like weird like pedo-y bloke, and he teams up with this werewolf, and he gets this little like red digger, and he's like going around the jungle trying to like kill one of the prisoners. Then there's like this woman who's like riding this horse about trying to like shoot people with arrows, and then there's like the main guy that's on like this little mad little like red bus, and he's going around trying to like shoot people with a rifle.
I'm just like, remembering how mad this film is now.
So mental. And it's like the Field of Dreams. Like Kevin Costner goes into like the cornfields and tries to like kill this person, and everything's on fire, and then like Wario's running around going, And then there's like, I don't know, there's so much more to it than that. But basically,
that's that. Okay, so Dave, you asked me what my double is now, and my double is Field of Dreams and Turkey Shoot.
That's it.
So they're just similar. They're just so similar.
It's just mental. It's just insane. So yeah, so there's lots of that going on, and then like, and it's just nuts. It's like that's going on, and then all of a sudden, like, they've saved the entire film budget for the last 10 minutes, and then like fucking airplanes turning up, bombs going off. Like,
yeah,
I don't really understand what's going on. And
where did
then,
that budget come from? It was like,
I don't know.
How's this turned into like the biggest like Roland Emmerich film? Like,
honestly,
crazy.
It was nuts. And then like, and just to reiterate, this werewolf is still kicking about, and like no one explains what is going on with this werewolf. So he's doing his thing.
The werewolf.
And then basically the bombs drop, everything's on fire, and then like the main like the character dude who's like, you know, trying to like, you know, fuck the state and all the rest of it just goes off with the girl. And this girl's just like some shopkeeper that was just like selling shoes or whatever. And the next minute she's involved in this jungle massacre.
She's like a badass. She turns into a badass. She turns into a badass at the end, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It's just mental. And then that's it. They just sort of turn to the camera, and then off they go into the mountains, and then the credits roll. And I was just looking at Shafi and Dave like, what in the name of God just happened there? And I've watched it again to try and understand what this werewolf was all about, and I still don't understand what this werewolf was all about. There's just no context for it. There's no secret lab where they like modified humans or what. Anyway, so it was weird, mate.
In life, sometimes a werewolf.
It was quality.
Turns
it's
up.
a great film. It's a great film. So check it out. It was
We've all been there.
Go for it.
We've all been there. A werewolf just turns up, and we don't know what to do. You're in the pub one day, and a werewolf is there.
In a top hat.
It happens to everyone.
In a waistcoat.
Michael J. Fox's great grandfather. It doesn't make any sense.
We've all been there. We're just trying to.
He's got the new Raj uniform on, Shafi, hasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And he bites that guy's toe off.
Abraham Lincoln. What the fuck is this?
When I had hair, that's what I look like. Yeah. Sorry, a bit of context, Lindsay. The new Raj restaurant was the restaurant I used to run, and basically they're saying that the werewolf is dressed exactly how I used to dress.
White shirt, waistcoat. So. Yeah.
Another
Going
reason the new Raj
serving.
is closed down.
Exactly.
Eating toes, it's fine.
Whenever there was a customer that pissed me off, I grabbed them and then broke their back and kneed their back.
Make it toe.
Yeah. Just so the viewers know the circumstance we watched this. So me, Dave, went over to Andy's house and watched this, and basically, we weirdly, I don't know why, but Dave wanted us to all sit in the same sofa. But anyway,
really weird.
That's a weird way to watch Shafi shoot.
And unfortunately, I was the one. I drew the last straw because I had to sit in the middle. But anyway, let's not go into that. But funnily enough, is that when we're watching it, firstly when that werewolf showed up, it was just me and Andy just laughing for just a really long time.
Doesn't make any sense.
And then
who is this guy? Who is he?
And whenever he turned up again, we just still were pissing ourselves laughing. We're just.
He does the best entrance. It's like a lady kind of goes up to her house, and then she goes, "What the hell is that?" And he goes, "Oh, this is my freak. I brought him in a circus." I was like, "What?"
I know. Don't try and understand the upper classes. They've all just the upper classes. They're a weird bunch, aren't they? And then all of a sudden, oh, this is my werewolf I bought. Oh, hello.
This is my werewolf I bought.
English eccentrics.
So Kyle watched it separately from us. So Kyle, what is your impression of this film?
Yeah, I really liked it. It was fucking mental. Loved it. So I got the same kind of vibe I did with Willy's Wonderland, but because this is 80s, it's even more batshit crazy. I'm just like, no, man, I'm into this. I love it. I love the 80s synth score.
Yeah, Brian May, right?
I was like, what? Brian May? Queen Brian May? But no, it's not.
No, there's an Australian running around who's constantly on a credit on Australian movies called Brian May, and everyone gets really excited, and then they just find out, no, it's just some bloke.
Oh, right. We got really excited being.
Yeah.
So it's not the real Brian May?
Because he scored the first Mad Max film, didn't he? Is that right?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
What's your name? Brian May? Are you any good at playing the guitar? Yeah, I'm actually the best in the world. You don't look like Brian May. You've kind of got short hair. Yeah, don't worry about that, mate. And aren't you busy?
Why have you turned up in a top hat and a waistcoat? I don't get it.
Yeah, to be honest, the werewolf was modelled on Brian May, so what are you going to do?
Nice.
He was, yeah.
Nice. But the funny thing is, me and whenever there was on some sort of like riff playing in the background, some sort of electro riff, me and Andy sort of make up lyrics to the werewolf's back. The werewolf's back, chasing you through the jungle.
Get down with the red digger and the werewolf.
To be fair, that is the best way to watch Turkey Shoot. This is not
Yes,
you can just be silent through.
So this film like falls into like the Ozploitation like genre. So I mean, it's something that I haven't not watched hardly any films. I mean, or the only thing is that I always heard that like term being bandied around regarding those first two Mad Max films. So are there any sort of big films that are like big blind spots for us, Lindsay, regarding the Ozploitation genre? Or
yeah, there's I guess anything, well, I guess to sort of nail it down so you sort of don't get the really kind of terrible stuff, which there is quite a bit, but anything by of course George Miller, who kind of is a crazy genius, but you're the king, but then you've got anything by Brian Trenchard Smith, Dead End Drive-In, is he Patrick, or was that which is a great one, a movie called The Man from Hong Kong, which gets the guy who did, I can't remember his name, King Boxer.
Wow, really?
He made a movie with them. They got all the Shaw Brothers guys in to do all the action, and then they got Brian Trenchard Smith and Fred Ward, Roger Ward, who's the giant bald guy in Thingy, to come in and it's insane. It's a great movie. So much paragliding. And also there's some really great ones with more paragliding, because there's basically two major stunt guys that used to try and kill themselves every single time they made a movie. Death Cheaters and Stunt Rock, which has no plot, but is just one guy doing all these insane stunts with this weird kind of sorceress rock band just playing randomly in different scenes. I don't know. But yeah, and it also...
Buckaroo Banzai.
Buckaroo, yeah, it is very Buckaroo Banzai. And
does Wake and Fright count as an Ozploitation film?
Yes, it does. The even though it is directed, Wake and Fright definitely counts as an Ozploitation movie. I mean, you see kangaroos shot poor things. And it's a little bit higher art than the other ones, but yeah, Australians hated that movie when it came out because they were like, "Oh, you got that a bit too accurate, guys." As soon as you come to Australia, you just get looked up and down, then handed a beer so they can get you drunk.
Wow.
It's there are so many. I'm blanking. Richard Franklin. He's really great. He's kind of a Hitchcock guy. But I think he did the likes of Patrick, which is about a telekinetic guy in a hospital with just his eyes open, freaking everyone out. Road Games, which is amazing. He'd go on to do like Psycho 2 and FX 2.
FX 2.
Oh man,
I fucking love that film.
Yeah,
That's
man.
one of my favorite films.
Yes, I love it so much. So yeah, you
and
do get some
cocktail as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he did have a really great. There's those three guys. If you get those three guys, you're gonna be safe in terms of kind of really batshit crazy, but kind of well. Richard Franklin's actually really great. He can make Brian Trenchard Smith will just go, "Can I shoot that car over there and get her naked and do all this crazy stuff?" And then the other, George Miller and Franklin, tend to be the bit more the plot-based ones. But anything by those three guys. Long Weekend, which is another great one, which is essentially this awful couple goes camping and nature just decides they've had enough and tries to kill them.
Blimey.
So,
wow.
Wolf Creek comes from this tradition of filmmaking.
Wolf Creek. I remember that film.
Yeah, and there's a really great one which I think Shafi wanted to do, which I'm going to have to send you the Umbrella Blu-ray because they finally put it out on Blu-ray, and I think it's region free, but it's called Dark Age, which is about a killer crocodile.
That sounds great, that film. I really wanted to choose that as our film, but
I'm going to have to send you that movie so you can all see it because it is truly amazing. It is John Jarratt, who will be in Wolf Creek, very young. It's got a whole bunch of Australian soap opera actors, which you probably will recognise.
Oh, yes.
It's got Alf from Home and Away.
Oh, what?
Yes. Alf from Home and Away.
Big Alf from Home and Away. And I'm just looking at it going...
Baddest dude ever.
Yeah, I know.
Shafi loved Sally from Home and Away, didn't you? You were obsessed with Sally. You did, man.
Who's Sally?
Shut up, you know who Sally is. You know who Sally is.
I don't even know who Sally is.
I think everyone's called Sally in Home and Away. Yeah.
Donald.
We grew up
on
Home
and Away
show.
or Neighbours? I can't remember.
Don't
Don't get it wrong.
But yeah, it's just it's a really great kind of movie where I'll send you the Blu-ray because there is now a Blu-ray coming of this movie, which was even forgotten in Australia. I had someone else going, "Do you know this movie called Dark Age?" I'm like, "What is Dark Age?" And I finally that was on Amazon, luckily, and I was able to watch it. Going, this movie is amazing, everyone. Yeah, so I might actually. So it will hopefully become more available soon because that movie is a treasure.
Right. Nice, great. Yeah, there was so much to go through that. But can I just say, we don't have to go into it, but we'll take it in turns. Lindsay, what do you prefer, Mad Max 2 or Fury Road?
Ooh.
I actually might have to go Fury Road. I don't know if that's sacrilege or my Australian residency is going to be taken away.
Okay, Andy, what do you prefer, Mad Max 2 or Fury Road?
I like Fury Road because on the way you were on the back of my motorbike and we tried to jump on that lorry. That for me was a tremendous journey to see a film of that ilk.
I'm guessing everyone's going to choose Fury Road then, I'm guessing, right?
I can't remember Mad Max 2 at all, so I'm choosing Fury Road.
All right, okay. What about you, Dave? Mad Max 2 or Fury Road?
That one with Tina Turner?
That's 3.
No, that's number 3. That's Thunderdome. Yeah.
We don't need another hero.
Was Thunderdome a Hollywood film, or was that like does that fall in the same Ozploitation bracket or not?
That had a lot of Hollywood money from memory. That was a studio film from memory. But the first two are straight up George Miller just choosing a road to film on and going, there's no cars here at the moment, let's crash some.
Yes, yeah.
Do it quick before we kill someone.
Do it quick. Yeah, pretty much. Moments of Mad Road and Mad Max 2 where you're seeing a stunt kind of go wrong and you're like going, oh, that would have hurt.
Yes, yeah. The thing is that when at the time when Fury Road was coming out, like all the like highbrow critics were like, oh yes, so Fury Road is amazing, all that stuff, and I was like, but then they were like retrospectively looking at the previous films, and Mad Max 1 was getting a lot of hate, but I really like that film, that first Mad Max film.
No, I love the first Mad Max film. It's so dirty and grimy, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's such a unique film, isn't it? It's just so beautiful. It's just like, wow, it looks like it's made from £5 budget, but it is an incredible film. And
I've just thought of this segue right now. So there's a character in that first Mad Max film called Toe Cutter. Back to Turkey Shoot, toe cutting.
Yeah, because it is. It's like, it's just evil people, isn't it? Just evil biker gangs or evil people getting together. Sadistic people. It's just crazy. Well,
Turkey Shoot sort of like ticks all those exploitation boxes, right? It's got like horrible violence. Let's talk about the most horrible. I think the most horrible part was when that girl was getting slapped in front of everyone like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was the first scene, really, wasn't it? That's when you realised shit.
It just went on and on and on.
Especially when he's shouting, because it's Toe Cutter, good old Roger Ward.
Yes, it's the same actor, right? Yeah.
He pops up in it a lot. Like, you just see the same 5 actors just pop up in everything. But he's just like shadow punching her, and she's trying to do this kind of, I will not be a deviant, I will be a good speech. And all of a sudden he's shadow boxing her, and then all of a sudden he just punches the living shit out of her, and you're like going, wait, did he actually kill that girl? What? Oh my god.
Yeah.
And it sort of cuts away, and you think that's the end of it. It goes back, another round, and goes away, another round. It's like fucking hell
on the floor.
And then you realise, they're in a real mad situation where they could all die. I guess that's the point. I guess it sets the tone for the film where you're like, fuck. This is the real McCoy. They are in a bad situation,
and also some of those characters there are there innocently, like the shopkeeper.
Yeah.
She's just poor girl. She's just like working in a shop, and then randomly she ends up getting arrested and kidnapped. It's
but I guess all of them are kind of innocent, aren't they? They're just not conformists, I guess.
Oh, they're just in a room with a non-conformist. Well, Steve Railsback has his own pirate radio station, but everyone else is just either there by rumor.
Oh God,
yeah. Wrong time, wrong place. So it's
they're just thrown in.
Yeah, they're just in this horrible place, and you realise, and the beating's not the worst of it. I mean, that poor kid who gets burnt alive. I mean, for some reason,
insane.
I completely forgot about
horrible.
it. Yeah, they really draw out the meanness in this movie. It's just like,
Everyone stood around watching, and they're like, oh, what's going on here? It's like, it's clearly obvious they're going to set him on fire, but they act all surprised and start running away, like, oh my God, they set him on fire. I was like, come on, I knew that was going to happen.
yeah.
That torture cage was mental as well, where you had to hold that thing up.
Oh,
Oh God,
yeah.
So I read something today that the guy, Steve Railsback, is a method actor, and he wanted to do it properly, but he was like, it's too heavy, I can't do it. Don't stress, mate. It's not real. Just acting.
I'm gonna go method. Pour petrol on me and set me on fire. Oh no, mate, we can't do that. We can't. No. I'm gonna go method. I've been method all my life.
Bite my toe off. Do it.
No, I don't know how you do method in an Ozploitation movie, because one minute you're just like, well, actually I know how, because apparently they were shooting rounds of something at them. So he's climbing up this rock face, which very unsafe to begin with.
Oh God, What?
And then apparently there were, well, I don't know. There's some say there were actual rounds being shot. Other than Brian Shea just wished, because I wouldn't have had rounds, I would have had pellets. I'm like, that's not much better.
Oh my God!
You could just sort of fire around them, just sort of fire just above there and stuff. It's crazy. Oh, God. My God, what a film!
So basically, it's sort of like a film of two halves. Well, I guess the kind of chasing in the jungle, kind of like what I wonder. So what point in the film does it split to the chase? Basically, is it sort of after half an hour? I think is it or
a little bit more than that, maybe 40 minutes. I mean, it's not a long
movie,
it's
about 40.
So it's
So it is a film of sort of two halves, where one's basically in this concentration camp where it just feels like hell, and the other is just this crazy, most dangerous game type of chase film. Yeah, I mean, I guess it falls into, with that second half, it falls into this other subgenre of most dangerous game films, right? Andy, you're a big fan of Surviving the Game, which Lindsay, I think you discussed it on your podcast, right?
I have, yes.
I just
Ice-T,
blew me away, that film. That bit where he puts the cigarette in the tree, I was like, look at that. That's some gangster SAS shit. Yes. I love all those films. That, Running Man.
Hard Target.
Running Man. Yeah.
We were just talking about Hard Target.
Yeah, I watched it for the first time 2 days ago. Yeah. Well, it's one of those films that I thought I'd seen like when I was younger, but then when watching it back, I was like, I've not seen this before. I couldn't remember any of it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, for Brimley's accent, you will never ever forget.
I remember him punching the snake, but that's probably from a meme that I've seen, I assume.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is Hard Target. It's just so underrated.
Dave, you really love that film, right? You think it's a
I love it.
masterpiece,
I think
right?
it is. It's so well directed. Everything about it. You've got Lance Hendrickson as just this insane badass. He's just so good. And then obviously the evil guy henchman is of South Africa, and then it's just
from the guy from the Mummy, isn't it?
It's just wonderful.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to hurt my feelings, and it's just it's so good. And they just shoots his head off in that car, and it's brilliant. Honestly, that is a badass film that just delivers, and it is so well shot. Those scenes. Every shot is beautiful.
The motorbike thing, scene with the motorbike and stuff.
The way the main villain in this film gets his head shot off at the end is nuts.
Mate.
Or his whole body just explodes.
Just disintegrated, man. It's quality, yeah.
That is unbelievable.
No, yeah, it's some of the gore gags are amazing when that guy gets. I think wait, the werewolf gets kind of chopped in half.
Yeah.
He
gets his eyes stabbed and then chopped in half.
The digger cuts him in half. Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I love the
mad.
fact there's a digger with a submachine gun, and also, as I think it was Andy quite eloquently, a bus that looked like it'd been built in play school, trundling around these kind of cornfields or sugarcane fields in upper Queensland, just like mowing people down. It is kind of incredible.
This is mental. It's because they spent all their money on the planes and stuff, so they just get whatever vehicles in the parking lot.
According to thing, they must have had a good day at the track because apparently, some reason some money got pulled out at the beginning, and according to rumor, the producers were going to the track every day to try and win back the money, so they may have had a good day.
What?
Get an airplane!
Wow.
That's mental.
They were like nicking a living, weren't they? Jesus.
That's how Australian movies get made. You just go to the track and hope for the best.
Who's going to sell some blood today? Sell some blood. Come on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Andy, do you have like a favorite like kill, like a favorite moment where there's favorite part?
Do you know my favorite scene is that bit where they the prisoners take over the digger machine gun vehicle that and then they like ride into the camp and they're like that and then like the last 10 minutes it's just I just could not believe what was going on in the last 10 minutes because I thought like I'd got to grips. I was like, all right, they're all mental. I'd accepted the fact that this like Cornish werewolf was running around and all the rest of it. But when the napalm airstrike started getting involved, I was like, well, I've fucking obviously taken LSD or something. This is make any sense? Like, it's such a good film. This, honestly, it's so good.
Yeah, it's surreal. It was surreal enough us having to sit on the same sofa with me in the middle, but watching. Here's my favourite part actually.
Snuggled in between Dave and Andy.
We're going to watch a film together. We're going to watch it
normally.
Yes.
Yeah. Human sandwich. Yeah. How about you, Kyle? Any sort of favourite parts? Any significant parts?
I liked the machete to the head. So the Blackadder, the guy that looked like Blackadder.
Yeah.
I remember from behind. Yeah.
Nice.
But my favourite was where the guy Thatcher just gets fucking disintegrated from chest upwards. It's brilliant.
Nice.
That is pretty brutal.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, the film is just there are just so many sort of brutal moments. Like
exactly.
So the lady, when she's sort of left alone with that woman, and then like she sort of like wags her tongue, and then like it cuts to kind of later on where that woman's like just like covered in arrows. That's just like
What was she doing? She's like, I'm just gonna go for a swim. She's just like in the water swimming and like watching her face. Like, wait a minute, they're trying to kill you.
That's what I was saying to Shafi for the whole film. The director was like, "Oh, we've got to let that sexy woman get more wet all the time." Yeah, like being a river, being a lake. Yeah. Suddenly it starts fucking raining. Then she's having a drink. It's fucking ridiculous. Like,
I know, but a lot of that stuff was done like
naughty,
non-consensual, wasn't it?
Very naughty, outrageous.
It's really bad, but there you go. What can you do?
Oh yeah, unfortunately, if you were making a non-new wave movie in Australia in the 70s and 80s, you had to get naked. There was still quite a bit of schlong, but it was mostly a lot of boobs, a lot of it got very sleazy very, very quickly.
Yeah. That's why Dave loves it.
Anything else that anyone wants to say about this film? Lindsay, have you got anything else to say about the film? Or
not really. Just that it's kind of just one of those movies where you can just sit there with your jaw open and going, "Someone let someone do this? How?" It feels like a really sort of patchwork kind of movie, and that's kind of it's just fun because you just jaws on the floor going, "What? Where did that come from? Build it? What? I don't understand any of this. I love it."
Yeah, exactly. People go, "How did this film get made?" But you weren't the one that brought this up. You didn't think of all these ideas. It's brilliant. It's so much fun. It's just such a fun movie. It's like kind of putting a shark in a tank and cutting it in half, and people go, anyone could do that. But no, you didn't. You didn't do it.
What, Dave? Where the hell did
Dave
that analogy come from?
I'm just saying, like, when you put a shark in a tank and you cut it in half, everyone goes, oh, anyone could do that. But no, but you didn't think of it. You didn't think of making a film, if a dystopian film with werewolves and stuff. It's just, I love films that let the imagination run wild. That's what I'm saying. Their imagination ran wild, and it's wonderful.
Are you talking about modern art here, and how, like, if you put a brick on a table and people like it, you can't slag them off because you didn't think of it?
Yeah, because everyone says, "Oh, that's easy. Anyone could do that." Well, why
didn't do it?
You didn't. You just worked in an office, didn't you?
All right, don't have a go at those people who work in an office. Jeez.
I work really hard in an office. I work in an office today.
I'm going to work tomorrow in an office as well. I'm on a friggin' Saturday.
How many werewolves are you going to see tomorrow, Shafi? None.
I'm going to dress up as one, that's why.
What a boring day you're going to have tomorrow. It's just going to be boring.
Just to clarify, though, on this werewolf point, right? There is no explanation for this. I haven't missed it, have I?
He found him in a freak. He kidnapped him from a circus.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Don't you remember?
Mental.
He was driving his car. He saw him and went, that's the werewolf for me, and then he shows up.
Wow.
You remember that when you were in the 70s.
Just basically watched him in the circus show and said, hey, excuse me, can I have a word with that werewolf at the end of the show? And then he goes, oh, by the way, I've got a place a jungle where you can run around, you can go in a little digger, you can eat as many toes as you want, and we can dress up in this top hat and waistcoat.
So Quentin Tarantino's a big fan of this film, isn't he? And you can guess what his favourite scene is. Eating toes.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
Because he actually is a big fan of this movie and a big fan of Brian Trenchard Smith.
Okay. Right, nice. There you go. Yeah, that's how you get his attention when he starts listing his favourite films. Just have a shot of someone's toes, and Quentin Tarantino's your man.
The dirtier, the better.
Yeah.
What a weirdo. I mean, Pulp Fiction was a great film, but what a weirdo. Honestly, feet are the worst things ever. I want to be as far away from feet as I can.
Right.
This is going well off.
No, where did this all come from?
Honestly, feet are horrible. They're the worst part of a human body. That's why they're the furthest away from you.
What do you mean they're the furthest away from you?
There's nothing further away.
They're a part of your body, mate. What are you on about?
But they're so far away. Look where your eyes are and where your feet are. It's the furthest point from one point to the next because it's so ugly.
See, Lindsay, this is the point. Insane. This is the point. This is the point of the night where things just get surreal. So just want to apologise. You're not on drugs. You're not on drugs at the moment, Lindsay.
I'd rather have 5 anuses than 2 pair of feet.
Your feet are the furthest point away from your body is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. I love it so much.
What do you want to talk about? Anti-feet. It's mental.
Honestly.
I've never taken
about your feet about. I don't get it. How long have you felt this way about your feet, Dave?
Well, mine are quite nice.
When Dave was preparing for this, in my notes, the werewolf, napalm, my hatred for feet.
Yeah. Look, I think Salma Hayek is very pretty, but if she poured whiskey down her leg through her feet, I'd be like,
fucking
no,
hell.
thank you, Salma. Can we not just go for a nice dinner? I don't really want to do this tonight. That's not my thing.
No way.
We'll get some nachos in the Mexican restaurant and enjoy ourselves.
I love how this feels like it's an actual Dave fantasy that he's actually watched Nelson Dawn and goes, You know what? This is not my fantasy. This is my fantasy. Nachos. We'll invite Selma along.
Yeah, it'd be a really different film if Quentin Tarantino said, "Can we stop the film, please?" And Salma Hayek, should we go for some nachos instead? You know, let's get out of this vampire bar and let's go out and get some nachos.
He's such a pervert that he can sort of direct the film in that direction and go, I want to drink whiskey off Salma Hayek's feet, where I'd be like, I'd rather go out for a nice dinner with Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
I've got 2 films to show you, Dirty Harry and what's the other one? Point Blank. Yeah.
Point Blank?
Okay. I don't know where this came from. Sorry, we've completely got off topic. I don't know how we can get back on topic. Andy, bring us back on topic, please.
It's the one-word review. One-word review.
Preach.
Right.
Preach.
Oh my God.
Okay, so yeah, Andy, have you got any sort of final things to say about this film? Or
I've still quite a bit, man.
It is interesting that all over the globe you have these films with like kind of post-apocalyptic madness where the state takes over. I guess everyone's just afraid that the state is going to take over and you're not allowed to have free thought and stuff. George Orwell, all that stuff is mad. And I guess from every cinema in the world, the state takes over.
Like a fear of fascism, I guess.
Yeah, all over the globe. It happens.
Well, I guess it's quite a timely conversation right now, though, isn't it? What's going on in the world?
Well, it always is, surely. Yeah.
Yeah, and 1984's been relevant for every single year it's been published. So we're just seeing a height of it at the moment, I guess. But yeah.
Dave, do you prefer elbows or kneecaps?
I don't particularly like human. I think humans are quite disgusting on all fronts, really.
but werewolves are sound.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. But werewolves in a top hat and a waistcoat.
Sign me up.
Sorry, Kyle, let's go through your bullet points then.
Why are all the villains British to begin with?
That's Australia's. What is the cricket term? Is it sledging? I think. Yeah. Whenever there's an opportunity for an Australian to sledge a Brit, they will, and to have them in charge of the prison camp is just an Australian middle finger.
That's brilliant. Because English people are bastards.
I'm thinking, they're really nailing down on the British kind of, they're just basically giving you the middle finger. I don't know, maybe they won the Ashes that year. Who knows?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Shafi's never liked English people, so no one likes us. No one likes us.
I'm a British citizen. What the fuck are you talking about?
Wowza.
What? No, you're not. What? How did that happen?
There you go. Yeah, also the casual racism here as well, Lindsay. Apologies.
Well, at least not calling you French, Shafi.
They're not calling us half French pussies. Yeah.
That's still my favorite on that is still my favorite episode bit on Who Dropped the Popcorn, is that someone goes, "Oh, you half French bastard" to Shafi, and he goes, "I've been called a lot of things, but never French. I'm very upset."
So the bald dude. He was, so he's in the first Mad Max film. Is he the I can't remember the villain's name, the main villain in Fury Road? Is that right?
No, I thought that was the villain from Mad Max 2 is the same. No, wait.
Right.
Basically, those two show up in everything, and they're both playing cops in The Man from Hong Kong, so it gets very confusing. And Roger Ward still looks like that. If you see him today, he's still completely bald, massive eyebrows, walking around 6'3".
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
it's Fury Road. Sorry.
So maybe there's an actor that died recently, and I'm just trying to think. It's one of those, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. No, because I think both Roger Ward and Hugh Keays-Byrne, who plays, I think he was Toe Cutter, but I think Roger Ward is also in Mad Max as well. Britain's actors the community is very small. Australians also very small, so you get the same actors just popping up all over the place in every single movie. You're like, oh, that guy.
Well, I tell you what, it's so mad. If you're a kid, being raised up and watching Neighbours, it's so mad. Like when Guy Pearce started kind of appearing in films, so we're like, "What's it's Mike, right? Was it Mike? That's his name, isn't it, Mike?"
I tuned out Neighbours before Guy Pearce. I really did. I'm kind of glad.
I got so annoyed. I'm like, what the hell is... Yeah, I got so annoyed when LA Confidential came out. I was like, what the hell is Russell Crowe something Guy Pearce doing in this movie?
Yes,
I don't know what's happening. Yeah.
I love Guy Pearce in that film, though, because he's such a by-the-book geeky guy, isn't he? But he's kind of a badass as well.
Yeah.
When he kind of just lets that shotgun go off in the lift and stuff, that's a mad character. Oh god, what a film!
So basically, what we did is we on Twitter we asked kind of what people's thoughts were in this film. We also tagged in some people that I know that are Australian, so that we knew would actually possibly would have seen this film. So we asked the question what people thought of this film. So at Bede Germain responded saying the film is absolutely trashy, violent, and batshit insane, and I love it for that.
Yes,
smiley face after that.
Yeah,
that's
a very big comment. Yes.
Okay. The New World Pictures podcast. So that's talking about the studio, the New World Pictures. They responded saying originally saw this under its US title of Escape 2000, which is an altered version. And while I prefer the original, both are great because they both have this guy, and it's basically a picture of the werewolf in his top hat and
Nice.
and waistcoat. At Filmomatic responded saying, "God, what a gloriously stupid B movie! Needed more toe cutting and eating." And at Dingo Movie, he actually sort of did like a whole load of responses, but the first response was directed by Ozploitation author Brian Trenchard Smith and featuring all the toe cutting and head exploding fun you would expect. Easily makes it into my top 10 Ozploitation flicks. So someone else responded at Dissolved Pet, said, been over a decade, so all I remember is that Cap Thatcher is our punishment park. Aussies don't do intellectualism. I guess that's an Australian joke.
That's a kind of Australian joke on that one.
Okay, right, okay. But then he elaborates, so he says, actually can clarify the significant class split between high art elite and low art ratbags is essential to the never the twain shall meet aspect of the AFI film culture versus Ozploitation. I'm guessing when they say AFI film culture, are they talking about Australian Film Institute or are they talking about American Film Institute?
They're talking about the Australian Film Institute because that was the whole thing of you had to make lovely period pieces like Picnic at Hanging Rock and My Brilliant Career, which are both brilliant movies, by the way. But
Picnic at Hanging Rock was a great film.
It was a great, amazing movie. But it had to be very prestigious because Australian was trying to make a film culture that did not involve werewolves and top hats. They were trying to make it about look at our beautiful country and our beautiful scenery. And then Brian Trenchard Smith kept making Turkey Shoot.
We went on to say the former ignored or dismissed the latter's vicious attacks on socio-political problems, despite often sharing common ground on themes of social exploitation and corruption. AFI films are most likely to imitate British filmmaking and borrow English creatives, while Ozploitation would source its riffs and creators from anywhere. So that's answering kind of Carl's question about why the villains were British, I guess. So, and he said the split held to Linda Williams' narrow diacriptor of body genres, sometimes that BTS films definitely glorified in as a deliberate attack against elitist colonial values and hypocrisy. It's a dichotomy with us since the sign of the cross versus the true story of the Kelly Gang. Wake and Fright is fascinating because it jumps all over these lines of demarcation. So it's absolutely no surprise that we almost erased it from existence. Turkey Shoot was more blatant in its attack but also far less insidious in its pointing the finger at Australiana. So there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Wow.
Thanks a lot for those
that's far
comments.
too intelligent for this podcast.
I know.
Okay.
It's very eloquent. Yeah, do you think we should move on to one-word reviews?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's the one-word review. The one-word review. The one-word review from us to you.
Except for Carl, who says, "Oh, that's fucking quality."
Excellent. Okay, so we'll start with you, Andy. What's your one-word review?
Werewolf.
Dave, what's your one-word review?
Mad Max's horror film.
Great. Thanks for that one-word review, Dave. And what about you, Kyle? What's your one-word review?
Thatcher.
Very good. That's and Lindsay, last but not least, Lindsay, what is your one-word review of Turkey Shoot?
Spiteful.
Spice.
Oh, nice.
That's very good. Yeah. Put us all to shame. Very good.
Absolutely.
Right. That's our discussion of Turkey Shoot. Lindsay, before you go,
Yes.
could we do just a quick round question for you? Question game for you. Is that okay?
Yes, you can.
Question number 1. What part of the body does Dave least like?
The little toe.
The one.
Yeah, exactly. The real challenge is like sort of a comprehension exercise. Like what happened? Yeah. So, what is the first ever film you remember seeing?
It's a good thing I wrote some of these down. It was either Snow White or it was 1977's
nice.
Title.
Wow.
God,
In the
you are
cinema.
the biggest legend I've ever
Cinema was
spoken to.
definitely.
Would you watch that in the cinema then?
Snow White was at the cinema. Star Wars was me running away because I didn't like in the living room because I didn't like Darth Vader's voice, and my sister saying, "Oh no, you don't see him, you just hear him." And then the first scene of Star Wars, he just rocks up, going, "Hey, how's it going?"
Traumatized you for the rest of the night.
Traumatized me.
Yeah. Right. Wow. The second question is: name a film that made you cry.
Titanic, every single time.
Ooh.
Oh
Nice.
my God.
Nice.
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Name a film that genuinely scares you.
Open Water.
Open Water. So that's the crocodile film. Is that right?
No, that's two people stuck in the ocean with no boat. I don't know. Don't like
yes.
it. No good. That whole idea of being stuck in the water with no raft and just sharks terrifies the living bollocks out of me.
Is
Nice.
that when they were sort of scuba diving and
Yes.
they went and they just left them?
They just left them and just
Yeah.
came up, no boat.
Right. So what's the film you've seen the most amount of times?
Wayne's World 2.
Oh, wow.
Oh yes.
Excellent.
Kyle, did me and you watch that in the cinema together?
Possibly, man. I've seen that quite a few times. Yeah, not for a long time, but yeah, lovely stuff.
I love the martial arts fight scene where he has with the dad. What he has with the dad.
And the
Remember that?
monkeys.
Yes. Yeah.
and the Beatles.
Oh yeah, and when they all they're running away, but then they end up in the gay club and they all just do YMCA.
Yes.
It's fucking amazing because they're all dressed up in those disguises, and it matches what the YMCA are dressed up as. It's great.
Did you think it was a bit obscene for the Indian to be showing most of his buttock or whatever the line is? Beaten to death with his own shoe.
Yes, yeah. God, I've got to rewatch that. Actually, it's fucking great.
So fun. I love this movie so much. I unfortunately when I watch it, I annoy everyone because I'm just like going along with the lines.
Okay.
I actually watched that. I watched that before I watched The Doors. So when I watched The Doors, I was like, this makes sense now.
Yeah. But that's like loads of jokes in The Simpsons, right? Like as a kid, you just laugh at them, not really knowing the reference. But then as an adult, you go, oh, that scene took that scene off Psycho and stuff like that, you know. Okay, so right, we don't really like to get negative on the show, but what's a film that you used to like but now dislike?
Actually, it's a movie from one of my favorite directors. It is maybe, though I still find one scene incredibly funny, but maybe Spaceballs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I rewatched it. I didn't find it as funny, but if I watched it again, maybe I'd find it funny again, because the same thing happened to History of the World Part 1, where I watched it when I was 19 after it being my favourite movie as a kid, and then went, oh, this is not as funny as I remember, but then I watched it, like, again 3 years ago and went, oh, wait, no, I love this movie, so I need to maybe watch Spaceballs again, but I do love the alien bit, when he starts singing the Warner Brothers Frog song.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That's what's the film you used to dislike but now you like?
Oh, Ed Wood.
Right.
I wish I could go back to my 14-year-old self and go, this is everything you love in a movie. Don't stop being a dick. Just, you're going to like Bela Lugosi. You're going to like Black and White. You are going to like all these things that this movie, Ed Wood, you're gonna love all these things, so stop it. Just enjoy it. But no, I hated that movie when I first saw it. It was like, what the fuck is Tim Burton doing?
Right. Interesting. Okay. Right. What's the sexiest film?
I wrote down 2 pre-code movies, interesting enough. I'm going to go Morocco from 1930, Marlene Dietrich in a suit, I still think is the sexiest thing ever, and The Thin Man from 1934. I don't quite know why I wrote those down, but that is what I wrote down at the time.
Nice. Thin Man, that's an interesting choice. Right.
Yeah.
You're showing off, Lindsay. Stop showing off.
Okay, fine.
Barbed wire. 1995. Barbed wire.
Actually, you know what? I changed my answer. It's Dirty Dancing. That is.
That is a sexy film.
That is a totally sexy movie. That movie was an education.
Shafi's
I'm changing
exactly
it.
the same though.
Yeah, I'm changing it to Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze was hot stuff.
So hot.
Yeah. He was hot stuff. I'm going to skip the next question. I'm going to go straight to number 8. So what is objectively the best film ever made?
Oh,
so a film that everyone says is a great film and you're kind of like, you know what? Yeah, I kind of agree. That is sort of the best film
Actually,
ever made.
I've got 3 from 3 different directors who I think...
Sure.
Okay, so Red Shoes, Pressburger and Power. Ran, from 1985, and Once Upon a Time in the West, Leone.
Nice.
I think those 3 are just, you can't, when someone says those, you just go, yes, they are.
Yeah. Good choices. Great choices. Okay, what's the funniest film?
Young Frankenstein.
Great, yeah. Hilarious.
Oh, yes.
Love that movie so much.
Okay, and right, so if you pitch yourself, what it is that you are in heaven, and every resident in heaven has their own night where they screen a film to everyone. So you're in heaven. Tonight's your night. What film are you going to choose to show everyone in
Titanic again. I just think I just need a good cry in heaven.
Nice, very good. Yeah. And hopefully, Jack is going to turn up at the top of the stairs as well.
That's what you're hoping. That's what you're always hoping for.
Everyone's going to go up the stairs hoping Jack's there.
Yes.
Yeah, but
he ends up in heaven pretty quick anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm sure, Dave, you thought this through, so there you go. Okay, so, and the very final question. This is the big... this is Mike, so I hate to put you in this corner, Lindsay, but Ford versus Ferrari or Blood Simple?
I can't believe this.
It has to be Blood Simple. I really like Ford versus Ferrari, but it's Blood Simple.
God, that's it. International relations tarnished.
It's the guy from Fly 2. I mean, it's it's Blood Simple. I mean, that cannibal whale score.
Honestly.
I
think that's the funniest thing.
I feel it's a bit unfair to put Lindsay in that position, but anyway, but just to make Andy feel bad, it makes it worth it. So there you go. Yeah. Great, excellent.
This was such a good evening up until then.
Lindsay, you have been brilliant. Please, could you come back on our podcast?
Yes, and yes. This has been, I have had so much fun with you guys. It's been amazing.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. So, Dave, if you could try and not sound like Daft Punk when you announce your next choice of films. So the next film that we're going to watch and discuss.
The choice is Ninja 2 with Scott Adkins. Ninja 2.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh, is Shafi doing a dance?
It is.
Oh, he's got the Blu-ray. He's got the Blu-ray.
Yeah, he's getting his Blu.
Such a good film. It is such a good film. It's off the chain good, and I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Lots of people get kicked in the face. It's great.
Okay.
That's a really good description of this film. Honestly, a lot of guys get kicked in the face.
Did you discuss that on your podcast, Lindsay?
We did the first Ninja,
right.
which is good, but not as good as Ninja 2. I think Ninja 2 is much fun.
Do we need to watch number 1 first?
No, you really don't. Actually.
Nice. Well, Dave, have you watched the first Ninja?
No, but I will.
So no one's going to watch the first Ninja then. We're just
you
watch the second
can
Ninja.
watch the first movie. I'm not saying don't watch the first movie. I'm just saying you don't need to watch it for 2. Like, there's no context whatsoever.
Trust me, Lindsay, we've got 1 week to watch this film. We all, well, most of us are married with kids. We won't have time to watch 2 films. So we're probably just going to watch Ninja 2. But anyway, awesome. That's great. Thanks, Dave. That's a good choice. Great. Okay, so Lindsay, do you want to tell the viewers how to get in touch with you?
Schlock Awe is on all the pods, I think. But if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, it's at Schlock1. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, because apparently I can't get enough of it, it is Reading Geek at Reading Geek. So yeah, that is how you can get in touch with me or follow me or do whatever you want to do.
Awesome.
Just don't be me.
Nice.
She is a great follow as well on Twitter. She lets you know about all the films that she's watching, and also if you follow the Schlock Awe Twitter handle as well, you get brilliant sort of double pairings as well. So but follow both of those because they're a great follow.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And also, as you guys follow, especially Shafi as well, is a great follow as well, especially when he's talking about his house.
Yes, his house. Everyone should watch that film. It's amazing.
Right, you can get in touch with us. Please send any questions, comments, hate mail, one-word reviews to the popcorn postbag at whodroppedthepopcorn@gmail.com, or follow, harass us on Twitter at whopopcorn, or on Instagram at whodroppedthepopcorn. Please leave a review on your podcast app, and please remember to like and subscribe. You've been listening to Who Dropped the Popcorn. Really appreciate it. Thank you for Lindsay for coming on. We hope you come back soon, and we'll see you all soon.
Thanks, guys. Goodbye.
Cheers. See ya. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers for coming, Lindsay.
Bye.
Thank you.
No, thank you so much for having me. This has been great.
Awooga!